Hello, this is Ki with RunScore. Today I'll be covering how to score a triathlon. Triathlon is a multi-sport event which is very complicated but easy once you've spent the time to set it up and prepare. This race is almost as difficult as scoring a marathon with multiple splits. We are going to be covering today the Team Tri Advanced race sample in the advanced race samples. This should be up on the web and any future updates that you might download and install the sample races. In a triathlon, you're going to be dealing with individual or age group participants. You may also be dealing with Athenas, which are women with a higher weight category, the Clydesdales, the 220s and above, a kids race possibly, a fat tire where they're using a mountain bike or a fat tire type bicycle for the bike portion. You may have elite runners that participate at the front, and you may have first timers that you want to identify and score. You'll also most likely have a team, and we also usually mark people with an X for their race when they abandon after, saying, a broken bike or having other health problems. DQ'd will be coming about with the USAT, United States of America Triathlon. It's the ruling organization for, or governing organization for triathlons. They may apply a penalty or a DQ. You can mark them here and show that information off. You're going to be dealing with 5 distinct split events in the triathlon, and that's the swim, the T1, the T2, the bike, the T2, the run. You'll be using all of these events to go ahead and produce your results. The other important is the start event. And in the future, you can look into a check-in if you're trying to confirm that the people took off in the correct wave. The penalty and the total are how we adjust the person's time by adding a penalty for certain people, and we'll use that to add to the actual total run time to give you a total to be able to use for other information. How we deal with this: all split times but the finish are recorded at the entry and exit points of a transition area. The transition area normally is a fenced in or a gated area to where you have all the bikes and bike racks. And along the edge of the transition area, you're going to have entry and exit points for the splits. The first one you're going to deal with is the one usually closest to the water used in the event, and that's the swim in, or actually the swim event. The next thing you're going to see, usually on the opposite side of the transition area, is a bike out point. That creates the T1. The bike in usually comes back in normally at the same place as the swim, or it may be in different sides of the transition area. That is the bike event. And the run out is the T2. The finish line for the run is usually at another location, but you can mix those and stuff. The swim split is created by subtracting the start time from the swim time. So thus your event swim minus start gives you your swim split. The T1, where you're on your bike out, if you take the time that they took off of time of day minus the swim time, will give you your T1 time, or transition 1 time. The bike split is created by subtracting the T1 time from the bike time. So event bike minus T1 gives you your bike split and the total time you're on the bike outside of the transition area. The T2 split is where you've come back in on the bike and you're getting ready to go out on the run out. You'll take the event T2 minus bike gives you your bike split. The run split is created by subtracting the T2 time from the run or finish time, as we see below. The total time is created by subtracting the start time from the run time. That gives you your entire time from start to finish that day. The penalty event is assigned from the sheets that you get from the USAT referee. And the total event is created by adding the penalty event to the run event using the penalty.rsm, and the official time is created by the start time subtracted from the total time to give you your official time. The start event is created by assigning the wave times to all the individuals in the assigned waves. In this example, the men took off in the first wave to give us our first 144 people. It was a broad area, good swim, so we had 144 take off on the swim. Normally you're looking to do 75 to 100 under USAT requirements. The women took off in the second wave, and the third wave was the families, or a triathlon where you allowed the kids to go with their parents, monitoring them and having a good time on that. Now we go ahead and get all those times in there, and we can go in and look at the overall age groups. When we look at that, we're going to be doing that age, or the event list we just saw. We're going to be going through and giving all the information on the select all. That's going to select the race equals, or the race equals %2. So in this case, we would have the 1 or the L, and those would be, or I and L, and those would be the people that are showing in the results. And the run greater than 0, you will only show the split times and everything for people who have finished the run. Otherwise, you'd have floating times in there, and it messes up the results, how it looks. So when we look at all this, we're going to see that we have division total, the bib, the age group, we have the individuals, and we're going to see their splits. Here, the third overall in the swim had a T1 time of 1 minute and 36 seconds. Transitioning to the bike, he was in 5th place on the bike. The T2, when he came back in, it took him 54 seconds to get ready to run. And he was the first overall in the run with a finish time of 53:12. Had no penalties, so he was ranked #1 at 53:12. Very simple on all these things. For this, you get all the information you need. You can have the kids that took off in that third wave. When you show those, you'll see the kids or the family stuff coming through here. You'll notice that the family times 1 minute 32. It depends on which people were which, on whether they were a youngster or oldster, and it was just a family division. The teams are different. We just covered that in a previous video. We're going to go ahead and show the 3 teams that finished this race today. The Team Florida Tees had the 5 events, 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 18 seconds. Sarah Fulcum did the swim, tagged off with Diana Walker, who had the T1 time and the bike, and then she tagged off as the bike came in to Jimbo Walker, who did the transition and the run. We have another one here where there was just 2 people. We have one, like I said, on the co-ed, the fastest swimmer was this lady, and the rest of the race was done by Lee Alexander. Very simple, very easy on that. At the same time, you can be looking to show the split times, everything else. On preliminaries, we normally just show the overall time. So we show the clock time, the wave that took off, how much correction there would be in that, the finish time, and if there's any penalties that are show up. You'll get those from the USAT referee during near the end of the race, and you'll just apply those as a 1 minute, 2 minute, or a disqualification. You put those in the penalty event, and those give us additional times. It's a complicated race with these 5 events, but it's also very easy with a good transponder system to get that. There are several other listings in here where you can look for splits, incomplete legs, missing splits. If we look at something on this, you'll notice that the teams show up as missing on this, but that's because they're listed as a team, but they did just 1 or 2 of the splits. So you'll notice that they didn't show up in the swim. You'll have a few people. Rob McNeely was not showing up with a bike or with a swim or bike split, T1 split, and a bike split. We don't know what happened to him, but he looks like he ran after that. Again, it's easy to do, gives you a lot of tools to look at, and the main thing is making sure your waves are set up ahead of time to where you set the wave times, and you can set up your waves ahead of time to show just exactly who goes off in the first wave, the second wave, and the third wave. If you have any questions on this, please give us a shout back. And if you have any ideas or requests for future videos, don't hesitate to contact us at support, and we'll try to help expand your knowledge. Have a nice day.